Hey, today I'm going to share with you a real case in Feng Shui, because I'm not a theorist. Feng Shui is not a theoretical subject; it's a very practical subject, right? I know many people who are always, if you really want to learn Feng Shui for free, you can actually go to many of the YouTubes, Facebook Live, and you can practically learn Feng Shui nowadays, because there are just many people who are sharing it. But I'm not going to share all the theories because I think it's redundant, number one, because everybody has been doing it. So might as well I just share with you some real cases. Actually, what happened in the Feng Shui. Then maybe through these years of listening, then you understand what is really Feng Shui. Maybe it's Feng Shui, what I've mentioned here is as per what you've been taught or you've been tuned or to believe that Feng Shui is like this, right? Some people believe that once you do Feng Shui, you can become like Li Ka-sheng, very rich, right? So most people nowadays only focus on wealth, right? So they only want to build Feng Shui to make them very rich, ultra rich, more money, right? Now, is Feng Shui all about this? A lot of times I can tell you it is not true. But Feng Shui having said so, it has the potential to make you make more money, okay, earn more, smoother, better. But if it's done incorrectly, it can also go the other direction, which is to make you poorer, eventually maybe a bankrupt, right? So this is a real case shared to me by the owner himself. Okay, so let me share with you. This case actually happened way back in already been 12 years ago. So 12 years ago, this owner actually had 4 properties. So he engaged a very famous master, in Klang Valley. And this master actually surveyed the 4 properties and said that chose this one little property that he said is the best. Okay, now, so I will share with you the case shortly, but let me tell you a little bit about the story. So after moving into this selected property, in 4 years time, the owner actually was already in a very bad financial situation. He was involved in a couple of lawsuits. People sue him, as well as he is suing other people to get the money back, right? But unfortunately, the things are not in his way. So the one who sued him won, and the one he sued, he lost. So the question is why, right? Now this person is actually a student of Feng Shui as well. So he wasn't very confident. So he asked his teacher to do the Feng Shui for him. And after selecting the house, so why this Feng Shui is very good, according to the teacher, but why the result comes out the exact opposite? This is the message of the day. The message of the day is that Feng Shui is not only about theory. Everybody says, oh, green dragon, white tiger, at the back you must have a hill. Or some people say, oh, you must use star 8, the most timely star, activate star 8, and then you'll be very rich. Put a big fountain of water there, you activate. But is Feng Shui done actually this way? Whether you use the Sun He method, whether you use the Sun Yuan method, or flying star, 8 mansion, whatever, is that how Feng Shui is being done? Now, this is a very common mistake. A lot of people who are sharing free information on the internet, sometimes they themselves have never done much any cases. So they just take from what they read from the books, and then they just interpret it, put it in the illustration, and then feed it back to you. Of course, their objective is to have fame and readership and things like that, right? Because you can generate income from there. But if you believe in Feng Shui is energy. Energy can change your outcome in your life. So if you don't do it correctly, or you think that activating star 8 will do, or find a property with green dragon, white tiger, that is enough, I can tell you most of the time it is not. Okay, Feng Shui is multiple level. It's very deep study, but most people today are at the top layer, right? They hardly go down to the depth. That is the reason why Feng Shui nowadays, you find that many people actually who apply Feng Shui Instead, who got better actually got worse off. You don't believe me? Maybe you can ask around your friend, and if they are honest enough to give you the answer, you will know it yourself. Okay, of course you will never read about all these things on Facebook, because on Facebook everything is good, right? Nothing is bad. So let me share with you the case. Okay, now let me share with you a case. Okay, let's look at the case now. Now this property was selected. It's like this. So this is property, this is the property. Okay, and behind this property actually is a hill. It's a hill. So in the hill, then you have a sort of like an arm on the left. They call it this the white tiger arm, right? Crossing a little bit like this. And on the left hand side, they have the green dragon arm, which is crossing quite far right in front of the house, quite far away. This is just an illustration, but actually it's quite far away. And so they fulfill the green dragon. This is the green dragon. And of course, this is the white tiger side, right? And then of course this is the backing, the black turtle. In front here you have a Ming Tang, a bright hall, they call this. And there's a curvy road, right? You see this road is a little bit on the curved side. So it's so the house is situated on the concave side. So it's on the concave side. So all these features are very desirable in most Feng Shui, but this is a very basic form of Feng Shui. Why? Because you have the 4 important features: green dragon, white tiger, turtle, and the bright hall, which is the red phoenix. So with these 4 celestial animal land formation is counted to be first class Feng Shui. That's what some masters are promoting. Then of course, then you see this road. They are always saying that it's best that you don't have a house that is having on a convex side of the road, but rather on a concave side of the road, so that the qi is more sentimental to you, right? And you see that this house is not directly on the junction, so it's a little bit offset, right? So that is the reason why this master also chose this for his student. And you can see that actually the green dragon here is actually stretching very far beyond. So this is also a very desirable feature. They call it the green dragon crossing the Ming Tang, right? So this is very, very desirable. So houses on the A side will always be better than the B side, because the B side will be on the convex side, whereas the A side will be on the concave side. So the qi is more meandering. But the interesting question that you need to think about is that despite all these things, at the end of the day, why did the owner went into such financial problems in just a mere 4 to 5 years time? See now, so the landform fulfills, but why isn't it getting any positive results, but instead negative results? The reason is very simple. Okay, so let me share with you the reason. So what was the reason actually? Now, because Feng Shui is comprised of many layers of information, landform is just one of the layers. Okay, then you also have to look at the formulas. But the formulas, there are many formulas, right? In Feng Shui, it's a very complicated industry, because there are layers and layers and layers of information, as well as classified under different schools. For example, if you look at the bigger picture, you have the San Yuan school, you also have the San He school. Within the San Yuan, there are many schools subjects. For example, you have the Flying Star, you have the Shen Gong Da Gua, you have the Dragon 8 Gate, and things like that, right? Liu Fa method, right? And if you look at the San He, you have the San He, you have the Yang Gong method, you have the Immension method, you have, and within the San He, there are multiple streams of San He. There's some called internal San He, some are external San He. So there are multiple schools. And even within each school, like for example, Flying Star, there are multiple versions of Flying Star. You don't think that there's only one type of Flying Star. No, there are many schools of Flying Star. Multiples. I can tell you it's more than 10 easily. Right? Every master have their own little flavor they will add in. And that will cause the variation to grow. So you can say literally thousands. So every school is different. So no point you ask 10 masters, because 10 masters on the same property, because you will get 10 different answers. That's for sure. No one master will do the same solution for your house. There will always be a difference and variation. So either you believe or either you don't believe. That's all. So it's fruitless to me. You go and ask 10 masters. I have people who have, I have a client who has 20 masters over 20-30 years of his life. He told me. But I'm the only guy who can produce his result, right? But of course, after that, getting the result, he got a little bit greedy, so he wanted more. So now he's trying out new things, right? So but there people are always like this. There's some people who always, they think that there's always something. But the fact is this, it's very simple. Feng Shui, there are multiple schools. So you ask 10 different masters, at the end of the day, you get different answers. But that's not important. Important is, can you get the result? So if you are one of the master out of the 10-20 master who can get the results, that it tells me something, right? So the theory that I have learned, the skills that I accumulated over the years from my grandmasters, definitely it tells me something, it works, right? Simple as that. So the question is, coming back to this case study, is that why this person, after that journey of selecting 4 with the best Feng Shui formation, and yet why he failed? Because I don't know what the formula that this first master used, okay? But probably I would presume Sanhe. Why? Because 1 year later, things wasn't improving. The master actually came back. He tried to plug a hole at the drainage system and then reopen another hole for the drainage to go out. So typically these are Sanhe methods, okay? They call the water mouth. The bottom up method. So that is the Sanhe method. And then after that, I think on year 2 or 3, I can't remember, he told me, was that he engaged a Hong Kong master. Now why he engaged the Hong Kong master? Of course, obviously the first method didn't work and things were not going well. Everything was going this way, down. So he engaged a Hong Kong master and it also did not improve, right? Things did not improve. And then finally came to this point where he had to sell the house, right, to solve some of the financial problems. So it's very sad. Despite the fact that you're trying to use Feng Shui to help yourself, in the end, it ended up worse. Now, how did I manage to know? Because this is not my friend. It's a friend of my friend, okay? So because when I was at the house briefly for a brief stop, I casually look at it and I think that this house is not good Feng Shui. So after knowing this person a little bit better, I asked this person, that's my opinion. I told him about my opinion and he sort of agreed with me. And that's how he told me the story from how it started right up to the point. So it's a very sad story actually. When you learn, you spend so much to learn, and then you spend so much for the consulting and all the effort you're putting into house hunting and all those things, eventually it did not produce any positive results, right? It all ended up very negatively, okay? So Feng Shui is not only about landforms, it's also not only about formulas. It's how you combine both of them together. And when you combine both of them together with the right knowledge, with the right experience, you are able to predict and tell why this house has good or bad Feng Shui. And usually you are not very far away from it, because every time I ask, it will happen very close to what I have said. Because why? Because Feng Shui, if you get the right method, you know the right theory, the proper theory, you will sure get the result. So that's why I'm saying, if you want to learn something over the internet, it's fine, just for fun, it's okay. But try not to use it on to other people, right? You want to try on yourself first. So if anything happens, at least you don't damage other people's life. Because Feng Shui can change the outcome of your life. You may not be the next Li Ka Seng, but definitely it can change the outcome of your life, okay, in one way or another. So be careful what you do, be careful what you learn. So that is very important, okay? Talking theory is useless. Feng Shui is a very practical subject. You need to be hands-on, you need to be good, you need to have the necessary experience. And that is my advice for you today. Okay, so this is a real story. I'm not picking it up from somewhere. It's a real story. This person, I presume, is still alive. I don't know. I never keep in touch with this person. Yes, so that's my sharing for today. So I hope you enjoy it. But if you like me to speak on certain topics, let me know. Okay, on the comments there or via the email, so that I can maybe in the next video create something that is will be helpful to you. Okay, right. So that's all for today. Thank you. Bye.